back a week to week 8 in the NFL. We're going to go surprise, disappointing, told you so teams. And in typical fashion, since Ethan is not with us right now, we're going to go another week of him not getting the first pick.
What a surprise.
Here, so let's see here. We got the Chiefs, Cowboys, and the with the first pick of the episode 102 draft, it is Grant.
Hey, Grant again.
Grant. That makes me 2. So, Grant, who is your surprise team in week 8 in the NFL?
Oh, surprise team. We're taking a turn. My surprise team is a team Dylan had as a wild card team. I was not confident in them, and I'm going with we're going to back again to just one side of the ball, not necessarily a team, but the Tennessee Titans offense from this past Sunday. Will Levis gets his first start, and I'm not going to lie, I was kind of a little worried for the Titans on there. I think for my ESPN pick'em, I had the Falcons. I can't remember if it was -3.5 Atlanta or +3.5, but I felt confident the Falcons would win that game because when Ryan Tannehill was at quarterback this year for the Titans, their offense didn't have a pulse. And with Will Levis getting his first start, why would anything change? Well, I was wrong. Tennessee, they were able to finally take the top off the defense and get some explosive passing plays going here, on Sunday. And Will Levis, he looked like the quarterback after his junior year at Kentucky. The kid who doesn't put mayonnaise in his coffee, but has an absolute rocket, who has an absolute rocket of an arm. 19 to 29 for 238 yards and 4 tutties. And most importantly, no interceptions. On Sunday. And then also, since they're able to get that passing game going, DeAndre Hopkins found the end zone 3 times. They're able to get Derrick Henry going. And I don't have the exact stats, but he rushed for 101 yards on Sunday. Anytime Derrick Henry rushes for over 100 yards, Tennessee's got a damn good shot at winning that football game. And who knows? Maybe it was just those big, beautiful powder blue uniforms that the Titans were wearing on Sunday. Maybe that just and we're seeing a trend this year. You wear alternate throwback uniforms, you're usually going to play a damn good game. So maybe the uniform gods had something to do with that. Look good, play good. But the Titans offense, they looked crisp, and who knows? Maybe after one game they found their quarterback of the future. And maybe Will Levis's ex-girlfriend Gia was holding them back. Maybe now that he's a single man, he can focus on football. He doesn't worry about his TikTok star girlfriend taking all the clout from him. Maybe he just had a heavy chain released from his body, and now he's all go, and he's going to find some beautiful woman down there on Broadway. And if he does,
he should leave the Broadway girls alone, though.
He should. But no one, he's an athlete, being 6'4", just a big, strong dude. He's probably not. God bless him. Someone's got to pick up those Broadway girls, and it's not going to be either of us, Dylan.
No, probably not.
So good for Will Levis and good for this Tennessee Titans offense. That's my surprise team for this last week.
Okay, well, yeah, and they found a passing attack. That's why they went out and signed DeAndre Hopkins. I thought Ryan Tannehill had a little bit more in the tank. I was wrong. And, just stretch the field. And we're going to see more if he can continue to reel those streaks together. They got Pittsburgh coming up, who is going to be without Kenny Pickett tonight, as this once this episode is recorded. But I think that's a winnable game. And as Jacksonville has started to kind of pull away from this division, there is still a lot to play for. And with Mike Vrabel on your sideline, Derrick Henry in a Oilers-Titans uniform,
oh gosh,
you can never count them out.
Mm-hmm.
And you know what was a crazy? I saw a lot about the Oilers uniforms, how they shouldn't be wearing them, but I don't think people understand that the Titans were the Oilers before they moved, and for a year they were the Tennessee Oilers. But the funniest part about that is they were headquartered. Jeff Fisher told a story about this, is how they were headquartered in Nashville, so they would practice in Nashville all week, but they didn't have a stadium there yet. So they would have to go to Memphis, which is a 4 or 5 hour drive, probably somewhere in there.
I think it's closer to like 2.5 because Nashville is kind of more north central Tennessee, and Memphis is on the western edge. If they had to go from like Knoxville to Memphis, that would be a hell of a bus ride.
Okay, maybe it was then. But he Jeff but they would leave, and he would talk about how like they would get home before their wives, significant other woods, and have supper ready for them by the time they got back from Memphis over to Nashville.
Oh, no kidding.
Uh-huh. Because they played at, I believe they played at the Liberty Bowl in Memphis that first year, while the Nissan Stadium, whatever it was called, I think it was like LP Field for a while, something like that.
LP Field for a long time, yeah.
Yep. And that's where they would play. I thought that story was pretty interesting. But my surprise team of the week is I'm going to go with a team that I've been very critical. This podcast as a whole has been critical of. We've been critical of the head coach. We've been critical of the quarterback, and critical of the defense, which kept them in a lot of games last year. And Russell Wilson couldn't get them over the hump. But I'm going to go with the Denver Broncos. Big win over the Kansas City Chiefs. That the buck stops at 17. They're not going to get any more wins against the Chiefs. At least that was where they put their foot down and said, no, 17 times is enough. We're done. We're not losing to you guys an 18th time. Defense forcing 5 turnovers and showed up, kept them out of the end zone. Offensively, Denver didn't have to do a whole lot. It wasn't anything Denver did like that wowed you in this game. They just kind of took what they gave them and gave them some. The defense gave them some short fields, able to and just move the ball. Got a couple of field goals. They didn't, and Denver had a blocked field goal. I believe they had an interception or two. But the Chiefs had 5 turnovers. They didn't play well on special teams. That's been an area of concern for them because it seems like the last couple of weeks we've seen a handful of muff punts from them in the last 2 games, and that's got to be something they got to clear up because the defense, as good as they are, they're going to break when they're having to be on the field. The Chiefs, I think they are missing another receiver, but Denver, tip your cap to them. And you know what? They're still somewhat in the hunt after Josh McDaniels has been fired. The Chargers are going to Charger. And after that, Sean Payton at the end of the day is still the second best coach in the division. And I trust Sean Payton a lot more than I trust Brandon Staley and Antonio Pierce and Aiden O'Connell. So, Broncos are still in the playoff hunt. You can't done chain them yet, but I will not. They won't be done chained this week because they're my surprise team, and hopefully the Chiefs can shake it off.
Very, very well said there, Taylor. And to your point.
Thank you.
Across an international flight to Germany. This next week to play the fast-paced Miami Dolphins in a Tyreek Hill revenge game. I may add. With that, not to look ahead to that game, but if the Chiefs want to win, that front 4 on defense is going to have to dominate, and they're going to have to get back to running the ball. All the times I was critical of them last year for trying to get too cute while they're trying to figure out these receivers. Let this interior 3 on this offensive line, let the 2 tackles, Donovan Smith and Juwan Taylor, let them go forward, let them maul people and get Pacheco going, get this play-action game going, and try to earn out a win before this bye week. But hey, Andy and this team, they got to figure it out, and I'm confident they will. So, hey, it's the National Football League. Everybody has bad weeks, and sometimes you lay an egg. And, Sunday they laid an egg, but like you said, 17 straight wins against a divisional opponent ain't too bad. Especially when the last time the Broncos beat the Chiefs, Barack Obama was in office, and he still had a full year before the presidential election of 2016.
And we were all living together the last time it happened. It was one of the times I've seen Grant. I've never seen somebody more defeated in a depressed slouch state than that game after Jamal Charles fumbled and Denver runs it in.
I put all my eggs in that basket, and in that game, thinking that that was the year they were going to take over Denver and win that division. And you know what? They were up 24-17 in the fourth quarter, and that star-studded defense needed to get one stop, and they couldn't get to Manning. And then instead of taking the knee and going to overtime, the Chiefs thought, hey, maybe we can get 10, 15 quick yards on a Jamal Charles draw play, and he puts the ball on the ground, and Denver scores, and it's like, that's the game.